Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the site of the new Boston Celtics practice facility here at New Balance World Headquarters, where planning is well underway to begin construction of a state-of-the-art training center. The Celtics are proud to be joining the Brighton community and look forward to many years of not just premier training for their players, but also interaction with their new neighbors. We'll be hearing today from several key dignitaries who have made this project a reality. First up, I'd like to welcome the co-owner and governor of the Boston Celtics, Mr. Wyc Grousbeck.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks to everybody for being out here on an exciting day. I want to start by thanking Jim Davis and New Balance Athletic. It means a lot when someone wants to become a partner with the Boston Celtics. We take it extremely seriously. And for New Balance and Jim to step forward and introduce us as their new partners and form this partnership together around this practice facility is just truly moving and exciting. On the court for the Celtics and off the court in the community, we know that New Balance are terrific partners. Jim and his wife, Ann, are on charitable boards all over the region. The New Balance Foundation helps so many charities, including the Boys and Girls Club right down the street. And we can't wait to get into business with them, get into partnership with them, doing great things in basketball and great things in the community. I'd also like to thank members of the Celtics ownership group who are here today. We've been together 14 years. There have been so many great moments, so many exciting moments, and today is yet another step forward, I think, in the history of the Celtics and our drive for championship banners. I'd like to thank Mayor Walsh, Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito. We couldn't do this. We literally couldn't be here without them and their steadfast support, their protection of the citizens of the Commonwealth, and their vision for guiding the Commonwealth forward. And we want to thank all of you today. So thank you, everybody. And I now have the privilege of announcing the name of this new practice facility. This will be the nerve center of the basketball operations of the Celtics. Everything we do on the court will be staged out of this great facility. There are a few names that really stand out in the history of the Boston Celtics, and one at the very top is Arnold "Red" Auerbach. Red Auerbach is the patriarch of the Celtics. He came to the Celtics in the late 1940s, and he led them and drove them and was responsible for, along with the many great players, responsible for 16 world championships. In addition to his great achievements on the court, he's been named the greatest coach in NBA history, perhaps the greatest coach in pro sports history, and the greatest executive in pro sports history. In addition to constructing all of those great championship teams, Red was also a true leader in civil rights, equality, and respect for all. Red drafted the first African-American player, broke the color barrier in the NBA by drafting Chuck Cooper in 1950. In the early 1960s, the Celtics fielded the first all-black starting five in the NBA, and Red named the first black head coach of an NBA team, the great Bill Russell. There was literally nobody like Red Auerbach, and when our group came together in 2002 and bought control of the team, our very first action was to ask Red to come back and reclaim his rightful title as president of the Boston Celtics. We are so honored that he did so and that we could work with him for 4 years along the way to Banner 17. In recognition of what Red did crucially towards Banner 17, his signature is engraved on every one of the 2008 championship rings. I'd like to especially recognize the Auerbach family for the role in putting this all together today and enabling the naming of this new center. And his daughter, Randy Auerbach, is here in the front row representing the family. Thank you, Randy, for everything. So without further ado, I'd like to announce with my partners the name of the new center. This is your official welcome to the groundbreaking of the Red Auerbach Center at New Balance World Headquarters. In closing, the Auerbach Center will put the Celtics at the forefront of the league in training and physical fitness and rehabilitation and basketball operations, enabling us to get back to hopefully where we will be, Banner 18 and beyond. Perhaps my favorite part of the whole building is that it's got glass fronting the Mass Turnpike, and it'll have 17 banners hanging there, visible to all, with room for more. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Wyc. Let's meet our host here today. He's the owner and chairman of New Balance Athletics, as well as a longtime friend of Red Auerbach's, Jim Davis.
Well, we're going to have a great partnership with the Celtics. We are looking forward to that. Thank you, Wyc. Good morning, Governor Polito, Mayor Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests. Thank you for being here today to celebrate the groundbreaking return of the Boston Celtics to their rightful home in the city of Boston, where they belong. I want to thank Wyc, Rich Gotham, Danny Ainge, and the entire Celtics organization for having the confidence and New Balance development to create the Red Auerbach Center, Red's new house. It goes without saying, this could never happen without the cooperation and support from our neighbors and friends in Allston and Brighton, from the city of Boston, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The addition of the Celtics, along with the presence of the Bruins, New Balance headquarters, the forthcoming indoor track and sports research center, make Boston Landing a sports mecca unique in the world. It will attract world-class athletes, both professional and amateur, sports enthusiasts of all types, writers and broadcasters, sports medicine experts, and it will provide athletic, social, and academic opportunities for the children of our community. It will be a great source of pride for all of Allston and Brighton. Red Auerbach would be proud to have his name attached to the new home of his beloved Celtics. I was fortunate to meet Red in the early 80s. We were collaborating with players like ML Carr and James Worthy to develop a basketball shoe. Through ML, I met Red. Somehow we connected. Being a true entrepreneur, he understood what we were attempting to do with New Balance. I think it reminded him of his early days in the late 50s when he did everything, from coaching to hawking tickets on game day. He'd be out there in the afternoon selling tickets for open seats that they had in the garden. Over the years, we became friends. He was my mentor. I marveled at the respect and admiration his players had for him. Red was the man. They all listened. He was iron-fisted. He never stopped until he won. He was a master of teamwork. He was a master of inspiration. He was able to inspire a good, average player to perform at levels they never dreamed of obtaining, approaching that of icons such as Cousy and Russell. That's how he won and kept winning. There were no prima donnas. There was one team. He was relentless and demanding, but always fair, always, with every player on his team. He had their back, and they knew it. The loyalty they had for him and for each other was palpable. To watch them play together was like attending a synchronized symphony, almost magical. Red would love his new home. Red's house is a worthy tribute to a true legend. He would ensure that Celtics pride permeated every corner of his house, and most importantly, with every player on his team. A pride that would raise the level of teamwork and performance to a culture, a mantra of winning ways that remain mythical even today. In 5 minutes, that's Red, a true legend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Our next speaker is the Managing Director of Boston Landing. Please welcome Jim Halliday.
These ceremonies are not getting old yet. Thrilled to be here again. On behalf of NB Development Group, we are thrilled to be bringing the color green and a touch of red to Boston Landing. Thank you. Boston Landing is a development project that is about transformation. Stockyards, rail yards, industrial, to a life works here mixed-use development, and now shamrocks and leprechauns.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed an honor for Governor Baker and I to mark this moment with all of you. It's a pleasure to see Randy here today, representing your beautiful family. And I'd just like to start by marking this moment with an acknowledgement to Jim Davis. Jim Davis is certainly someone that took on this project and was truly a champion. And I think any project this magnitude certainly needs a champion to help make it go forward. There would be many reasons why the people involved here could find an excuse not to have something of this magnitude happen. And for Jim to take this on with Wyc and Jim Halliday, the city, and also the state partner is truly a credit to him. I do want to mark that I'm not from Boston. I'm from the central part of the state. And Jim has a connection to Worcester. And that was the 1 year that he attended a school called Worcester Academy. And he says that that 1 year turned his life around. And to this day, Jim has not forgotten that experience and continues to give generously to Worcester. And I mention that because we are standing at a point of connection between Western Massachusetts and this great city. So it's just fitting that today we celebrate a connection for Jim Davis, a city that gave him an opportunity and taking that opportunity forward. The son of Greek immigrants who has turned around a company of 6 employees when he purchased it in 1972 to one of over 4,000 employees worldwide. Someone who embraced the values of an immigrant family and includes in his ethos here at New Balance the idea of making it in America. The fact that millions of pairs of athletic footwear are made right here in this country is a title that this company alone holds in the athletic arena. The governor and I are quite proud of the accomplishments of this team. We are quite proud that this facility is here as part of the gateway to the western part of the city. But we're also very pleased that New Balance not only calls Boston its headquarters, but Massachusetts its home, thinking about places like Lawrence, where New Balance still has a presence to make this footwear, employing so many people in that area who need it. And to be this headquarters, this practice facility for the world-class team that we know the Celtics to be, and to have those 17 banners that will soon hang at the cantilevered wall touching our pike. I am eternally grateful as a commuter on the Pass Pike that when I'm stopped right around this location, I can admire those wonderful championships and all that they represent. I sure hope that it won't be delaying the traffic any more than we have coming into the city. But it is truly a credit to all of you. We often talk about partnerships, and this is one that needs to be celebrated. A partnership between two fine organizations in New Balance and the Celtics, a partnership with city and state government, getting to go, focusing on the things that matter, and making this project a reality. We can't wait for it to become the home of Red Auerbach and his team. Certainly another connection being a longtime friendship, Jim, that you have enjoyed, and calling it the red and the green is truly a fitting title and name to have. Thank you, and God bless.
Thanks, Karyn. If you'll allow me a moment to lapse into my Dorchester upbringing, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our next speaker. He's the mayor, Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Mike. Spoken like a true man from Dorchester. Thank you very much. I want to thank and congratulate Jim Davis and everyone at New Balance and Boston Landing for hosting us today. This truly is an exciting day, and Wyc and you and the ownership team and Steve, I want to thank you for your investment in our city, and everyone else that's here, the elected officials. Karyn Polito, thank you. And we're joined, they were mentioned earlier, but they're actually here, is State Representative Kevin Honan, State Representative Mike Moran, and City Council Mark Siomo, who really have done a lot to lay the foundation with Jim to watch this incredible site grow. And it's not just growing, but it's growing with iconic landmarks that's coming to our city. So I want to thank them all for their great work. I also want to thank the Alston Brighton community because I know that every step along the way, the community has been involved here as Boston Landing has grown. It's exciting to have our 17-time world champion Boston Celtics bring their practice facility to our city. They were just wrapped up a promising preseason, 5-2. Their regular season starts this week. And soon they won't be just winning in our city, but they'll be practicing in our city as well, right here. Today, the Celtics are breaking ground on state-of-the-art training facility. Coach Auerbach, Red Auerbach, you know, for those of us that grew up in the generation of whether it's the 50s, 60s, or 70s, or 80s, had the great honor and pleasure of watching Red Auerbach do his performance, but also watch those great teams. And truly, we're a work of art. Early this year, we came here, we broke ground, and then we actually cut the ribbon on the Bruins' new training facility here at the New Balance headquarters. And I was talking to Karyn a little while ago, and I said this to Jim Davis, as you're coming down the Mass Pike heading into Boston, this is the gateway into our city. And there's no better fitting way of welcoming people than to see the Boston Bruins logo, the Celtics logo, and the New Balance World Headquarters logo on the Mass Pike. Because it shows with those three organizations, but particularly today, the Celtics, the determination, the teamwork, and the heart that makes our city great. We see it on the court every single day. I'm proud of the commitment the Celtics are making to their fans here in Boston as well. And this new practice facility is going to connect the fans even more. The Celtics are going to be hosting community events. And when they talk about the glass wall on the Mass Pike, they're also talking about surrounding the entire court. So not only are the commuters going to be able to see it when they're stuck in traffic, but the young fans are going to come in and be able to watch their heroes on the court. I want to thank the Celtics as well. They don't always get the credit for it, but when you go into our schools, oftentimes many of our young players, and our team is a young team, are in there in schools talking to our young kids about teamwork, about determination, and they're bringing it in what they're hearing from their coach, Coach Stevens, but they're bringing it into our kids in the city. So I want to thank the Celtics organization as well, because it's an important role that the young people play for the Celtics to our young people, to our young kids. Coach Auerbach said, "You play as you practice," and that's something that you can see in the Celtics all along, whether it's on the court or in our schools or in our community. The New Balance Boston Landing headquarters has become one of the the most recognizable landmarks in our city. And it's going to continue to be as commuters come into the city to see the Bruins, Celtics, and the New Balance. It's going to be great to see as we move forward. Again, I want to thank really, there's a lot of people to thank, but ultimately I want to thank Jim Davis as well for his vision for what he's done here. I know that I've had many conversations with the elected officials. Not only is he building a landmark and state-of-the-art properties here and buildings here, but he also gives back to the community. And as a mayor of a city, it's great to see development happening in the city, but it's even more so when you have a developer and somebody who's developing that is community-oriented and civic-minded, and certainly New Balance and Jim is. So again, thank you, congratulations. I look forward to the ribbon cutting is the next thing I look forward to from the Celtics, and then I look forward to putting banner number 18 up on the Mass Pike to slow traffic down more.
Thank you, Mayor. Our final speaker has been at the forefront of this project since day one. Would you please welcome the president of the Boston Celtics, Rich Gotham.
Thanks, everyone. I don't know how I get to go sixth. A little daunting following all these people, although not quite as daunting as following Red Auerbach. Only 15 more titles to go. We'll be right there with them, right? I think this is a great day for the Boston Celtics, being a part of this project, this huge give back to Boston, to be up here with this group of people who've just made Boston a better city with every passing year, with commitment to building this city, to doing things the right way, to giving back to the community, to making it hospitable for business, and making it a great place for the Boston Celtics to play basketball. So thank you to all of you up on stage for that contribution that you make every single day. The biggest debt of gratitude, of course, that we have is to Jim Davis and the New Balance Company. Without their vision for this project and their invitation for us to join them in this project, we might be playing out where I grew up on 495. Nothing wrong with it out there, but much better to be in the city of Boston, our true home. And with any big project like this, you know, at multiple stages along the way, you hit a fork in the road or a hurdle you've got to get over in track parlance. And you got to really gut check yourself, is it the right decision for you? And every time we hit one of those situations, we ended up talking to Jim, and Jim demonstrated his commitment to making this a great place for the Celtics to come and build their facility and to hang that next championship banner. And without his vision, his guidance, his leadership, we would not be standing here in front of you today. So thanks again, Jim. There are a lot of people who worked on this project, many of whom are in the room today. I want to make sure all those people are thanked appropriately and recognize how much we appreciate all the effort that's gone into getting us to where we are today, realizing that there's still a lot of work ahead of us, a building to build, a building to design, the fun part, I guess. But I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Jim Halliday and his team for the countless hours that they put in with us, the patience that they showed in working with us. I think we were hoping to get this deal done on the 17th turn of the contract draft. Didn't quite get there. I think we were up in the 20s when we all lost track, but a lot of perseverance to get us here by Jim and his group, and we appreciate their effort. We appreciate all the work that's gone into this from David Manfredi and his team at Elkus Manfredi. They've put together a beautiful design for this building, really showing the Celtics that they get our brand and that they get the whole Boston thing. And so we're really proud to be in partnership with Elkus Manfredi on this, and Mark Sardinia and Tom Mullen and their teams. Thank you all for the work you've done so far and the work you will continue to do. Thank you to Mike Joyce and Transwestern RBJ, without whom we might not have known that this could be a viable destination for the Celtics. It really wasn't on our radar screen. We really, you know, based on the timing of the lease we're in, weren't sure we'd be able to make it work, but Mike showed us a path. So thank you, Mike, for that help. Much appreciated. Thank you to our Celtics team, obviously. I don't want to be in the business of thanking ourselves too much, but a lot of people did a lot of work behind the scenes. Jay Westland has been called out as the lead on this. He knows, and I know, we could not do this project without him, so thank you very much. Bill Reisfelder, our CFO, Ted Dalton, our head of corporate partnerships, and their teams have done a great job in supporting this and allowing us to get there. James Parker and Chris Soros, our legal team on this, thank you very much for all the hours you put in on this. Very much appreciated. Thank you to the New Balance marketing team. You know, one of the interesting things about this project is we had a meeting set up to discuss the naming rights, and it was a bit of a mystery as to what was going to be presented during that meeting. I was bugging our team. I said, I don't want to walk into this meeting cold. I want to have a feeling for what they're going to propose, because if they propose something we don't really like, I want to think about how we might respond to that. I don't want to have a visceral reaction. And but they weren't giving up the secret, and much to my surprise and happiness, when we walked in there, they proposed that this facility be named after the great Red Auerbach. And I couldn't think of any better feeling than to know that the people you're about to go into business with understand you that well, understand the tradition of what the Celtics are all about, the pride we take, and the gratitude that we have for the people who came before us and built this great Celtics organization. And so thank you to the New Balance team for bestowing the name on this building that we're all going to be so proud of. And also I want to thank the Celtics ownership. This is not a trivial investment. Wyc and Steve and Bob supported this project all the way through. Helped us through the rough spots on this, Bob in particular gave us a lot of advice on the real estate part of this. We're not real estate people, but this was a big project for us, and I certainly appreciate it. And the thing I appreciate the most about this ownership group is that they don't blink when it comes to writing a check to make the Celtics the most competitive, first-class organization the Celtics can be. And that was certainly the case here. This is not a small thing for us. This is a big thing for us. So I want to say thank you to that group for never blinking and understanding. I think they're smart guys as well, that championships, you know, the banners might get raised, you know, down at the TD Garden when we win them, but they're won on the practice court. And I think Red knew that, and I think any coach knows that, and I think our ownership group knows that. So having this first-class practice facility is going to be integral to us winning that next championship and hopefully many more. So thank you all for that support, and look forward to working with everyone going forward. Thanks again to Jim and New Balance.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you to all our speakers. Right now, I'd like to invite you all to step down to the ceremonial groundsbreaking here. Also, Steve Paliuka, if you could join us, Bob Epstein, if you could join us, and Randy Auerbach, if you could join us. We're going to make you shovel, Randy.